CPM Math 3 1-25. For this particular problem, we're being asked to evaluate functions for different inputs and outputs. And so we're only going to do A, C, and D. And the rest of you will be responsible for on your own. All 6 parts, but I'm only going to show you 3 of them. So for part A, we have f of 3 equals negative. We have to make sure then we choose the function named f. So negative 2/3 times 3 plus 3. Okay, so all we have to do is evaluate. Super simple. So f of 3 equals negative 2/3. We could actually put 3 over 1 if you need to. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, and 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 3, simplifying that fully, negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2 plus 3, so f of 3 equals 1. Done. Okay, so let's move on to C. C, calculate g of negative 3. So g, of course, means we have to use the g function. So we're going to input this first. So g of negative 3 equals 2 times negative 3 squared minus 5. Order of operations is very important here. G of negative 3. And am I going to multiply 2 times negative 3? Or am I going to multiply negative 3 squared? And the answer to that is in your PEMDAS, all right? P stands for parentheses. Well, there's nothing inside the parentheses to do. E stands for exponents, and that's where we have to do the negative 3 squared. So negative 3 times negative 3 is 9 minus 5. So g of negative 3 equals 18 minus 5, and g of negative 3 is 13. All right, make sure you're showing your work using function notation. Okay, D. All right, D says to use the g of x function, so that's him, and solve g of x equals negative 7. Now, notice it says you're looking for x. X is the unknown. So negative 7 becomes the g of x. This sometimes gives students a little bit of trouble. So negative 7 equals 2x squared minus 5. Okay, now we simply can use the strategies that we have in order to solve for x. I have no b term, so that means I can use the square root method. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Okay, negative 7 plus 5 is negative 2 equals 2x squared. And now I can divide by 2 on both sides, and I get negative 1 equals x squared. And I can take the square root of both sides, and if your alarm bells are going off saying, wait a minute, can't take the square root of a negative number, we know that the square root of negative 1 is indeed I. So in this case, x equals plus or minus I. All right, now if you're not quite remembering that, this is a very good review. Remember, square root of negative 1 is I, period, end of sentence.